Hello, everyone. Welcome to UNWOMANLY with me, Jen Danzak, the podcast where you can feel as free as you want, free to be vulgar, and especially free of judgment, where you can be as unwomanly as you want. There's no reason to hold back any burps or farts or whatever you want to say or do, regardless of gender. This is the place to let your hair down and the foul words fly. I am here in Hollywood, California with comedy writer and self-proclaimed banana and potato enthusiast, Becca Wolfley. Thanks so much for being on the podcast here with me, babe.
Sure. Really excited to be here. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
In your own apartment.
Yeah. Welcome to my apartment.
You are literally the best. We wanted to discuss the evolution of dating, like how dating has changed over time for us and in general, what dating is like living in our small Midwest towns we grew up in versus out here in Los Angeles. I mean, there's literally so much we can cover, but I mean, let's just begin with when did you go on your first, what you would classify as a date?
Yeah, I mean, when you're 16, 17, right? Or 14, whatever, how early it is.
Right.
Especially in rural southern Indiana, right? It's going to Chili's is the date, and then you are in a relationship afterwards.
Oh, sure.
If you're not dead, you're committed.
It's so true.
If you make it that far, and hopefully one of the people in the date has a car, or else you're just not dating.
That is a good point. Or you have to have your parents drop you off and it's just awkward. And it's what if I'm holding hands with them? Is that going to be okay?
Yeah, as a teenager, you want the potential to fuck, so you have to have the freedom, but you're still scared because you don't know what sex is.
Right. I didn't learn about what sex was till literally 5th grade, in school.
Yeah,
I was shocked.
Even then we're not really taught well, what sex is, right?
Right, that is true.
We just know how to use a condom.
Yeah, over a banana. Because you're the banana enthusiast.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Except, I eat the banana and, you're not supposed to really, bite at the dick. So.
That's true.
So.
I fucking love it.
There's a miss there somewhere. Yeah, I learned the hard way, you know?
Yeah, oh, for sure. That poor guy. My first date was, of course, I remember the date. It was April 9th, 2006, because we saw the bench warmers.
I love that. You have a Polaroid of it too, probably.
No, yeah. No, I actually have a photo, but not a Polaroid from my basement. And I was just got kissed for the first time. And
Shut
I'm
up.
in the selfie mirror, and I'm wearing my shirt. I remember it. My lips were super red because we kissed a lot. And that was my first time ever kissing. It was not just a single peck. It was a full on makeout. That was my first kiss. It was the end of 8th grade. And it was a group of us that went to the movies, which was different. But I mean.
So somebody's parent drove the group of you? Or somebody had a driver's license at that point?
I think someone had a driver's license. Because I don't think a parent dropped us off. I think he picked me up. I think he picked me up.
Nice. Hot.
Oh my God, now I gotta think about it. I think he did.
That's the standard. When you're that age, you're can he pick me up?
Right, yeah.
Fuckable.
Right. And I think he had a Camaro or some weird fucking car. That I was this dude is fucking sick. And then he ended up being a jackass.
Oh
No, just kidding. He was okay. He's totally fine. My parents hated him though.
Oh man.
What was it dating through high school for you though?
High school was I don't know. I was not a serial dater. I was so excited when I had, a high school boyfriend, and he was actually older than me. He was 2 years older than me. And I was so excited that he was just interested in me, and that's of course the guy I lost my virginity to.
Nice. Yeah,
I'm keeping it classy, Takes me to Chili's one time, I'm now we can fuck,
God.
No, but that was, I remember a lot of, this is what I was thinking about earlier. A lot of nights at Steak and Shake. We had a Steak and Shake that was 24 hours. I think a lot of them are 24 hours.
Yeah.
But lots of late nights, going, whether it's going to a movie or just literally just going to Steak and Shake and loitering in the parking lot, for hours.
Fucking love Steak and Shake. We need those out here. We have none out here.
I know. It's sad. I have a milkshake. I'm just disappointed. Yeah.
I want like 20 different flavors, bitch, not like 2.
Yeah.
And it's not even real fucking ice cream. This is bullshit. Dude, speaking of virginity, I lost mine in college. It was January 17th.
The fact that you know dates is like, that perplexes me. Like, that's amazing.
I think it's because they were literally such like substantial moments in my life, you know, that I like wanted to make sure I fucking memorized them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have every single like dude I've ever fucked written down like in a journal. Like I know every name. At one point in high school, I literally would write down like, okay, I kissed this guy. I totally made out with this guy. And, like, I got fingered by this guy. Like,
oh my God, that's amazing.
It was like, this is how far we went. Like, you know, first, second, third base or whatever the fuck. Like, I literally wrote that down.
I literally don't remember every guy I've had sex with, which is probably sad. But I do have one specific person who I do not remember his name, but he is just known as Redondo Beach.
Get out of here.
When I moved to LA, I was like, I drove a far way. Like, I drove from Santa Clarita to Redondo Beach just for LA. Like, that's his name, you know? That's his title now.
That is a long way.
That was, yeah. So, but he did pay for dinner, so that's fine, you know?
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good date. Quality date. I just totally forgot his name. I was like, this is never going to work out.
That's probably equivalent to me driving to San Diego to get dick. But, I mean, it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a good time.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah, and we did fun shit. It's not like it was literally just that, you know?
But that's also just fun shit.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so true.
You know, by itself, banging is fun.
But we couldn't do that in fucking high school. Like,
No, definitely not. I'm trying to think where I had sex for the first time. I think it was in my bedroom.
oh, was it?
And it was after my mom she worked third shift, so
oh no,
it was like at like 10 o'clock at night.
That is so funny. Yeah, my dad worked third shift too. But no, mine definitely, I boned at the dude's house and we were watching The OC, which I was obsessed
California,
with.
California,
here we come.
Blow the mic.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, dude. Fuck yes. Driving down the 101. And now I'm like, I'm living it, you know?
Yeah.
But that show kicked off my love for LA. That and like The Hills.
Dude, you banged to the OC? That's amazing.
Banged to the OC. Didn't even pop my cherry. It took 11 times to pop my cherry.
You watch the OC every time?
I should have. No. It was in New York City when like the dude I was dating like visited me. And that's when it finally popped my cherry. And he was like, ew. And I'm like,
wow,
you knew you were fucking me and it was going to happen at some point. And that's your fucking response?
Yeah.
Like, screw you, man.
Yeah.
You know? That pissed me off.
Yeah, I think when I first had sex, like, it was just really, like, I mean, of course, when everybody loses their virginity, like, the first time is so painful. Like, we just didn't.
Yeah. I mean...
And then we just kept doing it. I'm like, pain tolerance.
Filled it up. Yeah. But no,
I'm not a quitter.
I definitely wanted to wait, though. Like, I didn't want to do it in high school. I originally wanted to wait till, like, fucking marriage and be one of those bitches. But, I literally was just like, screw it. Like, I just want to get this over with. I'm a horny bitch, you know?
Yeah,
and it's been nonstop ever since, man. But, yeah, that's funny. That, I mean, you and everyone else, I feel like, lost their virginity in high school. Because, like, in high school, I had, like, 3, like, main boyfriends. And it would, like... we would literally like go almost all the way, but like
sure
that was even like a commodity, you know?
Well, I dated like a couple guys prior to like my high school boyfriend. Like I dated 1 or 2 guys for like a month, and I was still so scared of sex that I was like,
yeah,
I don't want to see you anymore.
Right.
Like one guy I had dated had gotten really like hot and heavy, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm not ready. And instead of me being explicit about it and being like, I'm just not ready, I was like, we're breaking up. I was like, because guys, like, you definitely want sex. Like, you're a guy, you definitely want, like, that was in my head. It was like, you definitely want to, and they probably did, you know?
Right.
But I was just like, it was too much pressure. And so I was just like, we're just breaking up.
You're like, fuck this. Yeah, it's over with. I mean, everyone knows the same people in a small town. So it's not like you have many, like, prospects to choose from, you know? And you have to see them in the fucking hallways afterwards. Yeah,
especially in, like, well, if we get, you know, we're getting into apps too. Like, I wasn't introduced really to them until after college. But, like, when you're in high school, especially in a small town, you know, if you are fucking, like, before you get to college, like, you're fucking around and everybody knows everyone's partner.
Absolutely.
You know, because, so you're, like, essentially fucking an inner circle.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's a good point. You see the people in the hallway. You see them standing in their groups.
And like these guys you both fucked are on the same basketball team. Like I did not
God.
want any of that. You know, I did not ever want that. And so I just like avoided it. I dated somebody who didn't even go to my school. So
nice. That's good.
I know how to pick them.
Right. I dated a hockey player because I just grew up around hockey. So I always thought they were sexy as fuck.
Nice.
Yeah. Dated like a guitar guy. I wouldn't say musician because he didn't like really write his own shit ever, just like covers and stuff. But
yeah.
And then I dated some guy that like played tennis who was nice, but he was really sweet. He was probably my best relationship in high. No, I'd say the hockey guy was, but like we broke up before I went to college because like I was moving to New York and he was staying here and that scared him, and I was like, fuck this. Like I totally would have married that fucker. Like I was so into him, but like. High school sweetheart leaves me, you know, what a fucking shame. Whatever, man. But I mean, I really do think there was like a huge difference between like high school and college because that's really when like your playing field opened up.
Sure,
like, in my opinion.
And you could like be pickier, like your standards changed because thank God, like
they're actually like kind of manly now and not boys.
Yeah, and like of different backgrounds, like
yeah,
like if you were dating somebody, you were dating like a farmer, like or somebody who dipped, or you know, like a very certain stereotype of a character, like archetype, like. Right. They fit into, and then I was like, I'm into skater kids. And so I had to go like 2 towns over just to hang out and hit on the skater kids, yeah.
Right.
And by hit on the skater kids, I mean sheepishly just be around them. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, I'm cool. Like
I played Tony Hawk.
I wear oversized sweatshirts. I know what an ollie is.
Yeah. It's like R1, R2X, something like that. I mean, yeah, for me too, because like, especially because like I went to like 5 different colleges in like 3 different states. So that 100% opened up my eyes to all different types of people. Yeah, but like for me, that's when apps really did come into play and like really started to become a popular form of like meeting someone. And now they've like obviously completely like taken over. That's how you meet someone these days, like regardless of age.
Yeah. I think that with apps, we really have to just accept it as it shifted the dynamic of dating. I think a majority of people are on the apps, whether they actually utilize them for what they're supposed to be used for is like to date. Like it like with a lot of social media, right? It can become toxic. Like
for sure.
You only use it for instant gratification. And like I don't know how many times I've matched with somebody and then talked to them and then have taken it to the next level of like, hey, do you want to like continue this conversation in person? And they never get back to me.
Right.
Like I feel like if we're taking the layout of dating apps, like the crowd, and it's like maybe 80% fuck around, you know? Mm-hmm. And then like 10% unsure, like willing both ways, and then like 10% people who like actually want to date for a relationship. Right. You know? So I feel like I'm like within a minority of the group. Like I'm not like I like to date, like I like to actually date. Like I've had the hoe phases. College is a good time for the hoe phase, you know?
Of course.
And then as you get older, like I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't really need it anymore. Like we can take care of ourselves, you know?
Right. Oh yeah, for sure.
And so if I didn't want to develop something with somebody, like that's hard. Like I feel that's where my struggle comes in with the apps. I think a lot of people get like nervous with the screen. They're nervous about what somebody might actually think about them in person. Mm-hmm. And maybe they're not, like I've been on several dates with guys and I'm sure you might have been on several dates with girls who don't know how to talk in person. Like they're fine having a screen, and then like you meet them in person and they're just like
in a shell. Yeah. I also love apps for the reason that I can see if they actually know how to use the like right form of your, and your. You know? I'm not gonna date you if you don't know how the fuck to spell or, you know, simple grammar shit like that. You know?
One of my pet peeves is like when somebody puts LOL after every message. Like, I'll be like, hey, so what are you up to this weekend? And they're like, going camping, LOL. Like, that is fucking hilarious. I will never fucking do that with you. Right. So, you have me laughing.
Now that I think about it, it's just like 2 yours, not 3 yours. It's there, and there with 3 theirs.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm brilliant.
No, there's the you are, Jen.
That is a good point.
The you're.
The Midwest year, like YER.
Yeah, you're.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, like you even, the 80%, 20%, whatever. Like for me, I feel like I go in wanting a relationship most of the time. And then sometimes I meet someone and I'm like, all right, you're cool for like a night. Fuck it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But I think I would rather prefer, like, I think I would rather, I guess intentions change when you meet somebody too. Like, I think I've been in those situations too, where I'm like, I meet somebody and I'm like, I could just fuck this person and like be okay with it, but not want anything long term.
Right.
But like, I always go into it thinking like, this could be a candidate for a relationship, because for me, like, not even accepting the idea of potentially getting into a relationship is really stunting, because like, it's an investment. A relationship is somebody you can fuck all the time. Somebody who like actually wants to spend quality time with you, like you can get to know them, and somebody who can do you favors sometimes when you can't.
Yeah.
Why would I not want to be in a relationship? Like,
it's expensive. That's why I don't want to.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
it can be pricey.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I mean,
sure.
Are they actually going to pick up the tab? And you always want to do things outside that aren't free. I mean, now that it's quarantine.
Yeah,
and all that,
you want to do it frequently. Yeah, especially when you first start dating, right? That's an interesting thing, because it's like, what do you do those first couple of dates? How, especially if you meet somebody on an app, like, what's that first date look like?
Right.
So you've been on them. How did they go for you?
Bro. I mean, Tinder, I probably won't ever touch again. I mean, well, there's also those apps that are for specific reasons. Like,
sure.
You don't go on Tinder to find the fucking love of your life. And everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I don't know when that became established like that, but I feel like everyone knows that Tinder is straight up for hookups. I mean, is Hinge like that too? I haven't been on Hinge.
No, well, I think Hinge, people are, from my experience, people are a little more explicit with what they want. So the bummer with like any app is that I know of, I haven't been on anything other than Hinge lately, but is that none of the apps let you explicitly say if you're interested in a casual affair, if you're unsure, if you're interested in a relationship. Or if you want both things, right? Like, and so with Hinge, I feel like I do run across candidates that are a little more specific, like, but it's weird for me. Like, I never wanted to come out of like, as much as nobody wants to come out of the gate really and say, I'm just here like for a casual affair. Like,
right.
And men aren't even that, like, well, I can't generalize like that, but like, sometimes they're not as articulate, and they're like, I'm just looking for a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we know what that means, Ben.
Right.
Like,
you want to come over and like Netflix and chill?
Right.
Or you just, like...
not looking for anything serious.
Right,
like, we get it, Chad, God
damn it, Chad.
It's fucking always Chad. No, but yeah, none of the apps explicitly say that. And I don't, like, looking at my own behavior, like, I don't ever come out of the gate. Like, I am looking for a relationship. I think on my profile now it says, I'm just looking for somebody who wants to date me. Like,
right.
And like, the bar is on the floor. Like, all you have to do is be a man to pick it up, Are you strong enough to be my man? Where's Sheryl Crow when you need her?
Right? Oh my God. It's so sad that we have to come to that.
A lot of the times it's no. The answer is no, they cannot.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of matches because I I kind of come off as like I want a relationship out of the gate, which is true,
Yeah.
But
same.
I think sometimes like we as a society forget that like dating is a phase of that process, right? You can say like I'm dating somebody, but I'm not in a relationship with them yet, Right. But I'm like pursuing the option, right?
Yeah.
But I think we get so scared and we're like, I don't want to, like, after one date with the person, we feel like we have to decide.
Right. It's so true. And it's like daunting. It's like, okay, what do they think of me? Like, I don't know if that's just my anxiety, but it's also like, am I doing something wrong? Am I doing something right? Like, do they text me? Like, what if they didn't text me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had a guy not text me for he texted me like twice within a 3-week period. And then like we just went on another date. I was like so surprised.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was like, I was interested in this person, right? But I had no idea that he was still interested. I was like, I thought you had dissipated into a ghost at this point.
Literally, dude. Like, I just got ghosted by like a 32-year-old, so it never fucking gets better. Yeah. Everyone ghosts everyone.
It's normalized now.
It's like, ridiculous. Just fucking tell me. Like, dude, cool, you're not interested anymore? Sweet. I'll move on to the next.
I have had some interesting ghosts too. I had one guy who we had talked for consecutive days on the app, on Hinge. It was Hinge. And then I had asked him if he wanted to go get coffee, and he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay, like, how does Saturday sound? And he was like, that's great. And I texted him like Friday night on the app, and I was like, hey, like, so what time, bro? And he didn't get back to me. And then I followed up with another question. And then Saturday it comes and goes, you know? Like,
yeah.
And so I messaged him and I was like, hey, man, like, you good? Like,
you alive?
You up? Question mark. And he texts me back, Jen, I shit you not. He texts me back and he's like, I think we've taken this as far as we can go.
Wow.
And I was like, no, because we were gonna get, like, coffee is as far as we could go. And I thought that was the thing. Like, I thought that was the plan. And
oh my God.
So I didn't even respond. I was like, yeah, you're right. You're fucking right, buddy.
Right.
But it's like, it comes off to me as like I didn't realize it until I experienced how many people are just on the apps for gratification, like instant gratification.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and don't really want to go on dates. You know, they don't really want to meet a stranger and get to know a stranger, you know?
That's a good point.
They just want to be, liked. Like, people want to be loved, Jen.
People want to be like, oh, maybe I am cute and wanted. You know, they swiped right on me. They must like me.
Yeah.
They must think I'm cute. Oh my fucking God. And the amount of dick pics, bro, that you just get, like, unsolicited. Like, bro, even in black and white. I'm like, you made this artsy? What?
It's going for a classic dick pic.
Oh my God.
I have never received a dick pic. For the record, I want everyone listening to this to know. Send them in. No, I'm just kidding.
How have you never received a dick pic? What in the actual fuck?
They're not as especially, like, they're not good to look at, right? So I'm not ever asking for dick pics, and I hope that maybe neither
am I.
Yeah, true.
Can I please see you hard and soft so I can see if you're a grower or a shower? And I really want to just picture my mouth on it. Like, I really have to see if you're circumcised or not. Like, it makes a difference. Like, you know, like,
that's your, like,
I'm sure some chicks it might.
That's your, like, intro text.
Yeah.
As soon as
like
you
the
match.
First line.
Yeah.
The headline. Circumcised or uncircumcised, it matters.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking back on a guy I matched with, and we'll go back to dick pics because I have a lot to say about dick pics.
Me too.
No, but this guy I matched with, I was living in Santa Clarita my first year, and this guy I matched with was living in downtown LA. And we matched, and I was like, yeah, I live in Santa Clarita. He was asking where I lived, and he was like, oh, like, so you're gonna come visit me, right?
Oh my God.
And I was like, you know, you can control your radius on this app.
Oh, that's a good point.
I was like not giving this guy the time of day anymore. I was like, you're gonna be cheeky with me like that? Like, when you're serious, actually? Like, no.
That's
no,
a
thank
great
you.
point. This is a two-way street.
I was like, change your radius, bud. And I unmatched his ass. Like, yeah, you have, like, meet me in Burbank, baby, you know?
Yeah. Or even halfway.
So anyway, dick pics. So what guy is like, my dick looks good? You know, today, the dick is good.
Right.
That doesn't look, it's a tool. Like, I don't look at a hammer and be like, that's a good looking hammer. You know, like
I don't understand. Like,
I like what it does. I don't like what it looks like.
Very true. Very true. I mean, same with, like, vaginas too. I'm sure they're thinking the same way. Like, they're like, well, it's a pretty wet ass pussy or what, you know? But it's like, okay, like, not all penises look the same, and not all vaginas look the same. I get it, but like, how is that going to give you any gratification?
I don't know what's
from a photo?
I don't know what's going through a guy's head that's like, I'm going to take a picture of my dick.
Like, when you're on the toilet or something, like how are you hard while taking a shit? You know what I mean? I literally got a dick pic of the dude, like, He like, well, it was like an ass pic, which was kind of weird anyway. I'm like, okay, are you gay? Are you bi? Like, why are you sending me your ass? And it was literally after he got up off the toilet and there was like a red ring around his ass cheeks. Like he literally just took a shit and you're like, yo, this is the proof. Like what? Like what do you guys
I
even think?
I feel like if a guy's sending you dick pics without asking, like there's probably some kind of hint of like narcissism, or maybe the dick is all he's got going for him, you know? Like,
oh, yeah.
And that's sad, you know?
That is really
like,
fucking sad.
If the one thing you have going for you is a thing that doesn't look necessarily appealing to anyone.
Right.
You know?
And you're like, yeah, you know what? This is what's going to make me the sexiest man on this app.
Right. This is what's going to make the ladies come.
Right?
So.
You know what? I wonder if it's like even more prevalent on like Grindr for like gay men, or is it just like
we need to get our gay friends on this.
We need to get our gay friends on this, man.
They can tell us.
Right. There's just so many fucking apps out there though. Like
Yeah, I think after college is when I started getting into apps, and it was way before Hinge, right? Hinge is probably the most popular one now, I would say. Like the more serious one, I guess.
Okay.
Tinder's pretty popular, right, still.
Yeah,
because
I've heard of like OkCupid and like Match.com and shit.
Those were before apps even.
Yeah,
Those
you're
were
right.
like,
Match.com was like the original, I feel like.
OkCupid was before
really?
apps. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they turned
Cupid.
Okay, Cupid. Hey. I see you, Cube. We had Bumble, Coffee Meets Bagel, but
I've heard of that.
I feel like it didn't last long. They didn't have their updates quick enough, you know? They weren't.
Okay.
So I think Coffee Meets Bagel and Bumble were in the market around the same time.
Okay.
But Bumble had put the power in the woman's hand, right? Like,
oh, really?
So if you match with somebody on Bumble, only the woman could start the conversation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually, one of my long-term exes I met through Bumble.
Oh.
And I was his first ever app date.
Really?
Yeah. So I was in Indianapolis at the time, and I dated somebody for about a year. And he was so shy. He was so cute, but he was so shy. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, you're my first app date.
That is so cute, actually.
Yeah, it was adorable. And then we dated for a year after that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I met a guy on Tinder. I met the best and worst relationship on Tinder.
You know, there's some really great success stories, which like I think sometimes keeps like me, like people like me who want a relationship keeps me going. Like I went to a wedding of a coworker who met her husband on Tinder, actually. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Aww.
So, and they got married like 5 years later or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I feel like people were kind of afraid to be like, yeah, we met on an app. But now I feel like it's so normalized that like people are like, yeah, we met on an app.
Sure. I think explaining it to parents is hard. I dated a guy on an app for a little bit and actually met his parents, and he was like, let's just say we met at a party. And I was like, why?
Right.
Like,
why
I was
lie?
like shitty about it. And then I met his parents and I was like, oh, they have no idea how this works. Like to explain to them that you met on an app was like confusing. Right. They're like, what do you mean? What is this app?
Right.
You know?
And another thing that's an issue is everyone says, oh, you'll find the love of your life when you're not looking for it. But like when you're on an app, you're clearly looking for something. So it's like, well, is this person not going to work out? Am I pushing too hard?
Those are the same people who like are also into like high school sweethearts and stuff like that, and they're the ones who like fucking make the divorce rate what it is, you know?
Right.
Like it's just not practical. It's like not pragmatic to think that you like can meet the love of your life, right? Just by existing, you know? And we're busier now than ever. Like,
right.
Our generation has to work twice as hard. Don't quote me on that math. Not a mathematician, but also on my profile. English degree. You know?
Love it.
No, but you know, we work harder and we also enjoy our independence more. Like, I'm not codependent at all. Like, so I love my alone time. Mm-hmm. So I have to make an effort to date because I'm not going to go, like, also, I don't have the money to spend on just going out to the bars and hoping somebody would pick me up,
right.
You know?
And it's probably some sleazy ass dude anyway.
Yeah,
that's there every night.
So you think about meeting somebody, you know, naturally, and your odds are probably not even as good as meeting somebody on the app and having a successful relationship with somebody from the apps. Because you get filtering, right? That's a pro of the apps is like you get kind of like fundamental filtering options. Like Hinge has like religion, like if this person wants kids or not, like if this person does drugs, like you can like filter through those things.
Right.
And so like that's amazing. You know, a lot of people who are dating somebody don't even come across the conversation of children until they're a year into the relationship. Mm-hmm. And what if you just don't agree on it? And that's they split up, you know, like because that's a deal breaker for people. So why subject yourself blindly to something that is likely to be a deal breaker when you don't have to by using apps, you know?
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this one guy that I dated, he was like a pathological liar. It was literally for like 2 months. And I met him on Tinder. Girl, you're going to die from this story. You're going to die. His profile looked great, whatever. And like, yeah, it was like a whole 2 months of like complete shit because he was all like, yeah, I have no kids. But he had like a 10-year-old son he's never met because he like fucked some chick up in like Alaska or something and just never saw him again type thing. And he got, knocked her up. And then he also had a kid on the way with his ex. And I was like, great. And then, like, of course, I find all this out from his ex.
So he's like, I don't have kids. He's like, no. What I meant is like, I don't have kids with me right now.
Right. Not like with me.
Yeah.
Like, you don't ever have to like see them.
They're
I mean, it may be in like 9 months you'll see one. But like, and then also,
so I wasn't lying, Jen.
Right. He also said that he had no siblings, but he had like an older brother in prison for trying to have sex with like a 10-year-old girl in Canada. I'm like, oh, this is great family ties. Like we're doing lovely here. And then the best part, hold on to your fucking panties. He fucking gave me herpes, bro.
No.
He did. I'm dead serious. So yeah, so I literally was like, this is probably the worst dude I've ever been with in my entire life.
Yeah.
And all from a fucking app. And I was like, I'm never getting on this fucking app again.
Wait, so you like got rid of it?
I did after that. Yeah. But before I was with him, like I dated this guy like on and off for like 4 years. Best relationship of my life.
Aww.
Like, and he was like my best friend.
Yeah.
And like still kind of is, but like
those are hard to get away from. Like I feel like the one big relationship I had from the apps, actually I've been through 2 app relationships, but it's like good guys, like it's been always worth it to me because you do find that, somebody who you could definitely see yourself with. And then you do try it for a while. Yeah. And then, but I mean, like with any relationship, app or otherwise, you spend time enough with somebody, you start to see whether or not that person fits in your long-term goals and future and whatever. And
for sure. And they can look perfect on paper. And then once you're finally with them, they're like, wow, this is complete shit.
Oh, the first guy I dated who looked good on paper from the apps was an aerospace engineer, like really good looking. Like the first date was really unique and amazing and ended up being like a total shit ass. Like he was a terrible person. Oh. He was mean to his friends. He was mean to me. He was playing mind games with me. Like
that's so fucked up.
Yeah, and it was like he wanted to like he was actually he was in Indiana, but he was like leaving to LA for like a quarter for work. So he was spending a couple months in actually San Francisco. It was San Francisco. And
okay.
But like didn't break up with me, but didn't not break up with me. And I was like, we're dating. Like you're not fucking anybody else. And
we need to set this.
And he was like, I miss you. And like we would never really answer that question, as far as exclusivity goes. And then I found out he was seeing somebody when he was in San Francisco. And I had flown, that was my first experience in California. He ruined it. Because I had he was like, he would make me feel guilty. And the whole time this guy's cheating on me. And so like.
That's so fucked up.
For him not to feel guilty, he's like pushing me away or making me feel guilty and all these things. And I was just like, this is exhausting. And then when...
You sounded just like Taylor Swift when you said that. This is exhausting.
Really?
We are never getting back together.
Yeah.
The middle of that.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. We are never... Yeah, no, I actually... he came back to Indianapolis and, like, I had stored some of his stuff because he was between apartments or whatever. So I had his, like, couch. And he was, like, calling me once he got back into the city. I was not answering his calls. I was like, fuck this guy. And then eventually, like, I'm just not a completely heartless human being. So eventually I let him pick up his couch. But I was like, Frank peed on it. My dog peed on it.
I was just going to say, Frank is our dog. Yeah. Beautiful Pomeranian.
Right. My dog peed on your couch several times.
Good.
And you deserved it.
Him.
Yeah. No,
God.
he was the worst. I hope he regrets it. I hope he looks back and is like, I should have treated that person better. Ugh. That was the only person from the app that I've absolutely despised. Like, absolutely had a terrible experience with.
It totally, like, all of that, like, totally turned me off to
Mostly,
apps. But it's like, I mean, I'm glad that there are, like, more.
But you got him back
now.
Eventually. You went back.
I did.
To the apps, right?
Well, yeah, because I found this one called Positive Singles, and it's for those with like STDs, and like that wouldn't be something I would have ever expected to be a thing, and it's actually a thing, and I've met some great guys on
That's
there.
amazing.
I know. So it's like it's great that they have such a plethora of Christian mingle for like the Christians.
Sure.
The farmers only.
If I were back home, you bet your ass I'd be on farmers only.
God damn it. They literally must smell like legit shit. Like, you can't not.
It's like tobacco and yeah, cow turds. Like,
right, dude? So disgusting. Like, I mean, I'm glad that they're, part of our huge, our agriculture that we even have in America.
Yeah,
but you smell like shit. I'm so mean.
It's like, I don't know if I could work. I don't know if I could date anybody who works like on a harbor or like with, on a boat with fish and the fish market.
And I've like tried dating like car mechanics, and their hands are all just regardless of how many times they wash their hands, it gets grimy as fuck.
I have a special place in my heart for car mechanics,
really?
Car guys. I'm a sucker for car guys, and they're the worst. They're like, my grandfather.
I can give you an oil change, baby.
Yeah, right. My grandfather was an auto mechanic, and so I spent summers like in and out of an auto shop as my grandfather would watch me. So like I love like auto shops, and I love, and so if a guy can work on a car, he can work on a body. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Yeah, I'm like
car body. Oh my lord, I hate you.
Yeah. Although I have never really dated anybody who's like an auto mechanic. So I dated somebody who's going to be a doctor soon, and thank goodness, because those hands were magical. Right? Those hands are gonna save lives because they saved mine.
Is he a surgeon or like just a doctor? Because surgeon would be like,
he'll be a brain surgeon.
Oh, even fucking better.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad he knows what he's doing.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. No, great guy. It just, I was like, I can't marry you, but I can fuck you forever.
Right.
That was magical.
Dude.
No.
I mean, like, do you feel like a relationship is like seemingly more sacred or like taken more seriously if it's evolved organically rather than on an app? I feel like there's a stigma around that it would be. Like, if my parents, met on a blind date, like my grandma was on a bus from Parma to Cleveland, and she
shut up. Your grandma set up your parents.
She set up my parents. Yeah, she's like, my mom sat next to her on the bus, and she was like, yeah, I have a single son, and then like they just had a blind date, and like
so
the rest
cute.
was history. Like things
and here
like
you
that.
Are.
I know, right? So it's like things like that versus something that's kind of forced on an app, So it's like, how do like. I kind of skew it that way, that it is a little bit more forced.
Yeah,
and not I think romantic in a way.
Definitely, I think that's ideal, but I think people want it too much to where they get to the point. Like I've definitely seen this in myself, where before apps, I was like turning any situation into like, this is it. Like,
yeah, me too.
I'm behind one fucking bro in the coffee shop at college. Yes. It's midnight and like they're about to shut down, and I'm like, this is the guy.
Yeah. Or he smiles at you and is like, have a great night. And I'm like, you too. And then you think you're gonna be on like missed connections on Craigslist. Do they even have that anymore?
I went to Ball State, and Ball State had It was like
campus.
It was like Ball State Secret Admirers. It was a whole.
Oh my god!
It was a whole Facebook account that was like would put, and I got a couple. And they were so.
Did
cute.
you really?
Yeah,
That's
they were
so
like
cute.
I honestly think it was from like guy friends though, like guys who I knew that would only ever be platonic,
Yeah.
But they were very sweet, Like I've always been a picky person, but I've always gotten along with guys really well. Yeah. And so I think sometimes I have like guy friends who are like, she's into me, and I'm like,
exactly.
I'm not into. That's why. Okay, so I like apps because I prefer to date like people not associated with my everyday life.
Right. Good. Yeah.
I don't. So
sorry.
This idea of like, so when you meet somebody by happenstance, like your parents' story is fucking magical. That's amazing.
Right.
But I think people like that's rare. It is so rare. And it was rare before apps. It's not like...
You're right.
Also,
you're totally right.
Your grandma was like extroverted enough to be like, you should like meet my son,
right,
you know?
Right.
Like that doesn't, it's just not common.
And I'm over here like, don't even fucking look at me. Like, you know, like to anyone on public transportation.
You old whore. Stick to yourself.
Right. Like if they're like, I'm like, do you want money? Like, you know, like that's literally all the questions you get in LAs.
Well, and now, sorry, I'm like, now, and that, I'm like yelling at the mic. No, now I think that when something like that happens to us, like I've had men stop me and just be like, wow, you look incredible. And I'm like, that's harassment. And I walk away.
That's harassment. I don't think I've ever said that.
Like I'm scared. If I'm getting, you know, and society trains us to like react like that, you know. And so we almost like these ideal situations just are so rare, and we cannot, if we act like we will exclusively use those to like meet somebody, we're going to lose out on a lot of really good partners.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and we might meet somebody magical in a coffee shop or on the bus or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you get divorced from that person in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, or 10 years. And then because I just feel like, why limit ourselves? We should not have to limit ourselves. However, with the apps, you're like increasing your frequency of like dating by like tenfold. Right?
Oh, for sure.
Like I feel like the probability might not be that different. So if you hit on a person in person, like at a bar, right? And you do it once a week for a month. So out of,
I love this. 4 times.
So 4 times. So you strike out 1 out of 4 times. On the apps.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Odds.
Let me say you like catch 1 out of 4 times. Okay. You strike out 3 out of the 4 times. On an app, you can do that within 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's so true.
And so I think when somebody gets rejected in person, they give themselves, it's probably from a stranger, so they're like, oh, fuck you, you know, and then they move on to the next one, you know. Or they give themselves a week to recoup, right? And then, but on the apps, it happens so frequently, so it's like this roller coaster of highs and lows, and I think sometimes we don't know how to contain it affects us emotionally. And so I think that's also why people build walls. Like they don't meet in person. You know, they're afraid of that ultimate rejection.
For sure.
Or they don't, they end up deleting the app and reinstalling the app because they have they're not getting enough likes. So they're like, fuck this dating, it doesn't work, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that happens a lot. But yeah, I think meeting in person would be ideal, right? But I'm not going to limit myself to that. Like I said, the last 2 really great relationships I had were from meeting men from apps.
Nice.
Where if I fuck somebody within my inner circle, it would just be weird.
Right.
You know?
You can never look at them the same way again.
Like, especially in quarantine, like I know my neighbors.
Right.
Like I have 3 men that are my neighbors. If I just like fucked all of them, it'd be so awkward.
Or they might get jealous if they see another dude in here. Like, oh,
yeah,
what the
yeah.
fuck?
Or they like all get together and they're not jealous and they're like, Eskimo bros, yeah, what's up?
Even worse. But honestly, dude, like I feel like the worst part about the apps is that it's like based on looks more than ever before. Like, I mean, I get that when you meet someone in person, like you clearly are like, oh, their eyes are great, their smile's great. I saw that first. But like literally on an app, you're staring at a photo of them immediately. And then maybe you'll read the bio, you know?
So I feel like this is hot take, but
oh girl, give me the hot take.
The hot take is that people are fucking shallow anyways. Like
True.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not a looks person. Like clean yourself up, you know? Like
True. But I also want you to see me with no makeup when I look fucking homeless.
Oh, sure. Like, as a woman. Yeah.
So it's like, I think I might put one of those pictures up, too, and be like, can you handle this, bitch? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't
know.
I
think I've done that. I don't know that I've done that on my profile, but in person, like, I've definitely gone, like, second or third date. I'll just, like, not really wear makeup, especially if you're going to like the beach or something, because we can do that here, you know?
Yeah, I mean, thanks, LA.
Yeah. But if I'm going to the beach, I'm not going to put on full makeup. Like, I'm going to sweat it off.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So, but yeah, no, I get that. But I feel like looks is like, if you don't have any pictures, they're just going to pass up on you, you know? You have to meet the standard.
Dude, there's a couple guys on this app that are, you know, afraid of being seen and having, you know, their name out there. So they're like in full like anonymity. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
They're in full anonymity. I can't say that word. And
like, you mean like actors or like CEOs?
No, like I think it's because they like have an STD and they're afraid of like knowing, you know, who they are, you know.
Oh.
And so I can't see a picture of you. How am I supposed to see if I'm a fan of you or not, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of the things that I don't also like is I feel like a lot of apps are this way, but you have to have like a premium version in order to either adjust your radius or even talk to some people based on if you pay for it or not. That's kind of bullshit. At least it is like that with this app, because like if you're a premium member, you're allowed to message people, but if you're not, like, you're screwed type thing.
What do you mean? Like you can have messages at all?
Well, like if one of the people in the conversation is a premium member that pays for the service, you can have the conversation. If you're both not premium, you can't.
Wow.
So that's what
sucks.
That's
so limiting.
Exactly, girl. So it's like, what if you're passing up on like your future fucking soulmate just because you don't want to pay the $9.99 a month or something?
That's
you know?
bogus. I would honestly just go to a different app. Like, I know that this one has it's like niche appeal, right? And yeah, I haven't come across every app I've ever been on you've been able to message, but they make you like, so like I'll run out of matches on Hinge.
You can run out of matches?
Well, yeah, it's because I'm so picky with men.
Oh.
So like every man who's listening to this, like if I've had sex with you, you should be grateful.
Same here, bitches.
No, yeah.
I'm a hot commodity too, damn it.
No, but I'm so picky with my matches that I'm going through my candidates every single day, like, or what, in one sitting, because I'm very judgmental. Like, I know people would be like, I don't judge. Like, I fucking judge. Okay.
Everyone does. Like,
yeah,
let's be honest.
That's the thing too, is like people who say I don't judge. I'm like, okay, well, that's wrong. But
right.
But that's when they make you pay for the premium, right? Is when you write, to get more matches, like you need to sign up for a premium service. Or if you want to continue the conversation after a week.
Exactly.
Which I'm not trying to talk to anybody longer than a week anyway before I'm meeting them. But that's how they get you to capitalize on the idea of.
What I did is I was like, well, here's my Instagram handle. A, you can see I'm a real person. And B, if you don't want to.
Move the chat there.
Right. Move the chat there. I'm never really on the app anyway because I'm fucking busy. You know what I mean? So,
Smart. There you go.
And it's free self-promotion. You know?
True.
But I mean, like, the thing is with me is like, although there can be like a great convo on the app, like, you know, meeting could be lackluster. It could be boring. It could be, I don't know. I feel like if you constantly have convos with someone before you actually meet, it could ruin things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to tell you my whole life story before I meet you. What are you going to talk about? You know? That's at least my take on it.
No, I agree. I completely agree. I get pretty frustrated if I have to talk to somebody. I don't think I talk to somebody on the app more than probably 2 or 3 days. Like, and I'm not saying like frequently within 2 or 3 days. Like you have one conversation each night, and then I'm like, okay, like, you want to move this in person? Because I'm not going to tell you everything about me, right? Because I'd like to get to know you in person, right? And see how we actually converse in person, because screens are such a crutch. Whatever it comes to, they're such a crutch, and you can convey yourself as somebody who you're just really not, you know?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And you can tell, like, non-verbally, right? People's non-verbal demeanors. I almost burped too.
I know. You held back, damn it.
I choked on it.
Oh.
Because I was trying.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, I've been on dates with like guys who the conversation goes really well over the app. And then in person, they're an arrogant prick, you know?
Right.
And I'm just like, Jesus.
For sure. And the way they talk is weird. Like, they'll put in lingo that's kind of weird. Like, fool. Or like, you didn't say that over text. Like, that's how you say, you know, for me, I literally I call everyone babe and dude. I literally said that in my app. Like,
oh, that's great.
I say that kind of shit. I swear a lot too. You know, this is what you're getting, bitches. Right, you know?
Right.
Can't help it.
I was talking to, I had a date the other day, and I think I referred to him as, like, my friend Sean says baby a lot. Like, he says it like that. And it's caught on with me. But I said that, and he was like, did you just call me baby? I was like, fuck, this is weird.
Oh, no. Dude, I literally had a first date where a guy told me I would be more attractive if I didn't swear as much.
Oh my God.
Well.
Did you burn his car down?
I should have, but I think he's like married now and fucking happy. But I was like, how unwomanly of me to like swear so much. Wow. Like, what a fucking shame.
Like
sorry.
Being told like, oh, that's not very ladylike.
Right.
Like,
sorry that I have a vagina and you can't handle that because like, what's the difference that you have a dick and I have a vagina? I'm not allowed to swear as much as you. What's up with that?
That doesn't make us,
that makes no sense. That'll never make sense to me, dude. I don't know. I mean, do you think that like...
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. But I mean, do you think that like dating in LA is different than dating in Indiana for the reason of apps? Or do you think there's more to it?
Wow, that's a big question.
I know. It's pretty loaded.
I want to say it's a jungle out here. I feel like
it's a fucking jungle.
Any big city like LA, New York, it's wild, right? And I think that those are in Chicago too as well. Like those are also like what I would label as like ambitious cities. So like people live there, you know, because they have their own agenda. And that's not to like get married and settle down. It's to like work on their career.
Right.
And so they're more hesitant. They're not really inclined to get into a relationship. And I think in Indianapolis, people do like that idea. You know, once they have a good paying job, they're like, cool, like, American dream it. Let's American dream it.
Absolutely.
You know, while we're out here in LA, like, we're just going to be creative and, like, vibe, you know?
Jump from job to job while they stay at the same job for 25 years.
Right. We're, like, do literally whatever as long as we can write at the end of the day, you know? Vibing is a vibe in LA.
I love it.
We are here to vibe and vibe alone. And if you don't get the vibe, you're just not vibing.
Right.
You know?
That makes 100% sense. This is so brilliant. It's fucking true, though.
No, it's just...
Everyone, you have to have that specific mindset if you're out here. Like, everyone, I feel like, in the end of the day, has that specific mindset. Like, we're here to fucking work hard.
Yeah.
And maybe find somebody if it works out that way.
Like, and if not, like, hopefully we're getting laid. You know?
I mean, at least having a good time and vibing.
No, I think that's exactly how it is. People are very ambitious here. And so one thing that stunts ambition is responsibility. And a relationship is a responsibility, you know?
For sure.
To do it justice, you have to be responsible.
And have priorities straight.
Sure. And when you don't even know what the fuck your actual job is, you know, then you're like, do I even know who I am? You're like, am I ready for a relationship? I don't know how many guys I've like been on dates with, and then after our like first or second date, they're like, yeah, I thought I was like ready to date, and I'm not. And I'm like, well, I've been that girl so many times.
Oh yeah, dude.
Where I'm like, okay, like I'm glad like you figured yourself out. I wish I'd have known before.
Right, but then you'll see them. Oh, last logged on like a day ago.
Yeah,
when you
like,
go to creep, and you're like, wow, fuck you, man.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, and it could be like they just got the vibes that I wasn't there to fuck, and that's true. I wasn't just there to like if I. Like, I don't need to do that. I don't need, like, that's not what I want, you know?
Right.
Like,
I mean,
like I said, we can take care of ourselves. I don't need a man.
Right. And it's also like, how much do you even reveal on a first date? Like, do I reveal that I have herpes?
First dates
do I reveal finances and politics?
First dates on the apps, you have to get down to a science. Like, that's the thing is like...
Are you a Trump supporter? Tell me now.
Yeah, right. Oh, you can usually suss that out pretty immediately.
Yeah,
hopefully over a conversation. You can be like, what do you think about gay rights?
Right. Well, I just got it in the ass the other day, man, so I think we're good.
Wow, this guy's fluid.
Oh, he's bi. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Right, cool.
Glad we established that. So I have everyone in the world to worry about, not just half of them. Okay, great. That's the worst.
No, on first dates, like, especially app dates, if we're talking app dates, then I think it's pretty common, like, it's always nice if the guy pays, but, like, I don't expect it anymore because it's a stranger.
Right.
You know, that like, we have to accept how chivalry has changed. Like,
for sure.
You're opening the door for me? Great. Like, love that. Free of charge, right?
Are you only doing that one time to, like, impress me, or do you actually do that all the time?
Yeah,
that's
but
what goes
even
through my mind.
Even then, I like that. Like, I was on a date with a guy, and he, like, offered to pick me up. I didn't even have to say anything. And I have to obviously go through these questions like, do I trust this person to pick me up?
Right.
But anyway, it was nice that he offered, you know?
Right.
But as far as like, especially eating in LA, like going to dinner in LA, it's so expensive. So I'm always prepared to like pay for myself if I need to. But
I love going halvesies or like literally, what's that called?
Dutch.
Not commando. Okay, I was about to be like commando. I'm like, that is not the proper term.
If you go on a date and it's commando, call me. Please, I gotta be there for that.
Oh my God, I love it.
No, and that's why I like first dates. Like I like to do like simple stuff like coffee or like a happy hour, you know? So it's not like, also like, what if I sucked to the person? Like I'm not...
Right. Sorry.
I feel like, no, you're across from me. I feel like I can just like breathe it in.
Ew. That's so attractive.
Yeah.
I'm too unattractive. I'm sorry. How unwomanly of me. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. You'd be more attractive if you'd be more ladylike. You should be more ladylike.
Right.
Like, what does that mean, Kevin?
Right. Are my heels, like my 5-inch heels are not like 6-inch heels. Sorry. I'm like, fuck you, man.
Where's your measuring tape?
Right. How big's your dick, Kevin?
Not as long as these heels. So shove it. No. But yeah, first dates. I don't know. What do you think about them?
Dude, I am such a huge fan of like, let's pay for each other. I mean, like our own selves.
Yeah,
not each other, but you know what I mean, like ourselves, because we both work hard. We both earn our own money. We don't want to go fucking broke just dating each other.
Yeah.
That's why I'm okay with, you know, just okay, cool. Like I can still budget for myself in a way. You know, not have to budget for someone else to have fucking 5 drinks, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like, when I plan them, when I actually get a guy to agree to meet me in person.
When it actually happens.
Yeah. No, I think about that stuff. I'm, like, courteous, and I think, well, if I were paying for this date, like, ideally I would want the person to, like, I like that side of chivalry. I don't expect it, but obviously I adore it, you know?
For sure.
And so I would try to pick something that's not going to break the bank. You know, coffee... and, you know, maybe street tacos or something, you know, if it goes...
That. Such an LA thing.
Right.
Love it.
You know, like I went on a date the other day and it was just like we went for a walk and got ice cream. It was so cute. Yeah, but it's like simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind paying for us both. And so I know he shouldn't mind paying for us both.
Right.
Or we're okay to do it separately.
Like, I feel like it's more of a shock when someone actually pays for me. I'm like, wow. Oh, okay. Thanks. You know, like.
Okay, it is a shock.
Yeah.
Which is a little sad.
Should it be? Right. Should it be a shock to us when that happens? You know? Like, guys are so shallow these days, I feel like. They literally don't want to do anything. They just want to fucking fuck. Like,
yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, you want to come over to my place? And do you say yes or no? Because what does that even mean? Do you legitimately just want to, like, hang out at your place? Or do you want to, like, hang out at your place under your sheets, you know?
Naked.
And, like, kind of sweaty.
Do that. I never do that on a first date.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I definitely have before, and I don't anymore. Well, kind of.
I've gone on first dates where it ends up that way. Because I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Redondo Beach was one of those guys. Redondo Beach.
I have been to Redondo.
Miss you, Redondo.
Hit me up, man.
He texted me like a week later and he was like, well, I guess that was our time.
Oh.
I know, I ghosted him. That was so rude. I've done it. I'm a culprit. As much as
I have done it too.
As much as we don't like to be.
Right.
And we complain about it, you know, I think.
But I give as many hints as I can. And if they don't pick up on it, I guess that's their cue. But also, what if that dude or whoever has ghosted me gave me hints and I didn't pick up on it and I'm just sassy about it, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I did ever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I feel like that culture of ghosting needs to just chill the fuck out, in my opinion. Everyone needs to open up their communication a little bit and be like, okay, this is what I liked or didn't like. And if it hurts, whatever, man. Like, it's just, you didn't vibe.
Yeah, I told a guy the other day, I texted him, and we were supposed to go on another date. And I was just like, the more I thought about it, I was like, this is not, like, there were so many things in our, like, initial conversation where I was just like, this is not what I agree with. And so we were supposed to go on the second date and we had to delay it once and then we had to delay it a second time. And then after that, I was just like, honestly, like, I've met somebody prior to this person who I liked more. And so I told him, and he's like moving to this neighborhood.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I met this guy. He never texted me back, which is fine. I mean, when you get the news that you're rejected, like, what do you don't have to, you don't have to say shit, you know?
Right.
But he was just like, or I was just like, you know, I've met somebody prior to you who I'm interested in pursuing. I hope you can understand, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I was scared to send the text, and I'm like, man, I expect this from other people, you know.
Exactly.
And so, what, you know, the golden rule, I was just dismissing it.
Oh. No, I understand. I mean,
it's hard. It's easier said than done, right? Like,
oh, for sure.
Don't ghost people, right?
Right,
And
for
it's like,
sure. You don't want to have that.
And then
confrontation.
sometimes like people like you and me, especially like, well, you working right now. I'm not working right now. I'm just like sitting on my laurels and writing jokes. But you know, you're fucking busy. And so you go on a date and you're like, oh, I didn't really like that guy. And then you go on to, you have to shift at 9 a.m., you know? And so you just forget.
And the worst part is like if it's actually like that day and they ghost you. And I'm like full makeup on, ready to fucking go.
Wait, you ghost him before the date?
People have done it to me.
No.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, are you not showing up
Wait,
today?
have you ever done it to somebody though?
Not on the day of, no.
Oh, okay.
No, I've definitely given like plenty of advance.
Yeah, I've had it happen to me day of.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, you can go fuck yourself. And then I end up being like, okay, I'm not wasting this makeup. I've got to do something with my day. You know?
Oh yeah, I've gone out to rooftop bars by myself before because I thought I was gonna like have a date that night and they canceled on me like 2 hours prior.
Right. God damn these fucking dudes, man. What kind of girlfriend do you think you are? Are you like a hopeless romantic? Like for me, like if I vibe with someone, I straight up like start writing like lyrics about them and like being like, I'm gonna make a fucking song about this. And I'm just like, God damn it, Jen. Like he's probably not even that into you.
I wish I could get like a crowdsourced opinion. Like all of my exes call in and be like, she was aight.
She had a wop.
always with the wop. No, but I was definitely like, you look back on your relationships, no matter how fleeting, no matter how short term they were, and like there are definitely guys like I've dated where I'm like, I was insane. Like I should not have acted the way I did. That guy who I mentioned earlier, who was so good on paper, like was such a diabolical relationship. And part of that was me, like I should have just dismissed it, you know, from the initial red flags.
Right.
But I you know, kept playing the game and it made me crazier. I was like, and then you become this suspicious person and you become untrusting and this and that. And like, I don't want to be that person. I dated a guy prior to that guy and for just like a month and was devastated when he broke it off with me. Like he did the right thing. He broke it off with me in person, sat me down, and he was just like, you know, I don't really want this anymore. Oh. And this is when like I could not handle not having closure.
Yeah.
And so I was like, why? You know, why? And then I I was just, I lived in the apartment complex next to his work. So when I would go on runs, I would constantly pass by him.
And you're automatically reminded.
I would see him driving around the neighborhood, things like that, you know, and I felt so crazy. And then like I was also in an environment where we had mutual friends. Ugh. And they, instead of like just letting it be, those friends, let it be. Sorry.
It's true though.
Those friends like stoked the fire and were like, did you hear about so-and-so? And I was like, I don't care.
Fuck.
I was like, I don't care about him anymore. But I had a hard time, like, because at that time I was like working my job. I was college educated. I was making money. Like, I was like, what's not to love, you know?
Right. And that's the thing with me is like one of the dudes that goes to me is like, I was mutual friends like with one of his roommates. And I was trying so hard not to like ask him any questions. Like, do you know anything? Do you know why he goes to me? But then at the same time, like, fuck it. You know what? Like,
you have to just accept it.
Maybe it's just better off not knowing.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been on dates with the guys too, who are like that guy ended up, it's just because he was interested in somebody else. And I think they dated for a while if they're not married by now, you know, but, and a lot of times it's just them. Like they don't, as an individual, they're like, fuck, like I don't even know who I am anymore. Like right now. I dated a guy recently, went on a couple of dates with him, and he was just like, I didn't realize how not ready I was. I had just gotten out of an 8-year relationship. I'm a year removed from it, but I'm still not where I need to be as far as learning to be by myself. And I'm a big advocate for that, you know, like learn to be by yourself.
Yeah, for
before
sure.
Before you can sacrifice like part of your life for somebody else, like
Absolutely.
You got to figure your shit out, you know.
8 years. And I've always been told.
Yeah, that's a long time to date somebody.
I've been told it takes like 3 times the length to get over someone from how long your relationship was.
I want to say.
Who knows how fucking true that is.
I dated a guy for a year, and, you know, I mean, I still think about him sometimes, but just because I have a deep appreciation for that relationship.
Yeah.
What it was. But I think it probably took me just about a year to get over him.
Nice.
So if not equivalent, you know.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
The amount of time.
What do you like look for in a dude? I know that's also a loaded question, but like when you're looking
what
on
do you
these
look
apps,
for in a dude?
Dude.
Yeah, you can take this one away,
Girl.
Jen.
Okay.
I'll think about something.
Okay. Eyes and smile for sure.
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
Says the woman who was like, abs are bullshit. They're based on aesthetic.
Well,
like,
okay.
So shallow.
Okay. Oh, okay. I can explain.
You're like, lips, baby.
I want those in between my legs
Jesus.
now. Okay, if we're going off apps, okay. Yeah, smile for sure. Definitely grammar. Definitely
I love
grammar.
that. Good for you.
Dude, there's this guy that wants to hang out at like fucking forever away, but he wants to work on my car, legit, because like, I don't know, whatever.
Not a euphemism.
But yeah, right. And the way he can't even like spell anything right. And I'm like, this is so unattractive. Like you're in your 30s. How do you not know how to spell any of this?
So it's not like he's just using one wrong, like it's not like he's abbreviating your into you are. He's like,
no, that's fucking annoying too.
It's annoying, but tolerable. Like
I don't think so.
Sometimes,
especially this day and age. You're in your 30s and you're still using a lowercase u.
Sure.
I'm judging the fuck out of you.
Sure.
Yeah. You know?
This isn't gonna. It's not gonna work out.
It's not. It's not.
Work
I don't
out.
want my fucking future husband being like, I want to impregnate you, letter U, or some shit.
Trying to sext you.
Yeah. And that's how they do it. But no, yeah. Oh my God. I'm another teeth person.
You like good teeth?
I like good teeth. Oh my God. You have to not have bad breath, obviously.
Okay, what about personality-wise?
Personality-wise, funny, for sure.
Like has to be funny.
Not like, all the time, like trying too hard, but like
has to be
genuinely.
funny or has to handle your funny.
That too. Both.
So I mean, I'm big on like doesn't have to be funny, but it has to get my jokes, has to get my like. I actually don't like men who are funnier than me.
Okay.
I'm like you're not funnier than me. You're just a dick.
As long as they can like handle every single aspect of me, you can handle that. I swear a lot that I sing all the time,
which is not really a lot to ask for. Because
but
if you
it fucking is.
Well, if you can't handle that, then there's like some misogyny or old stereotypes going on in your brain.
Right.
Like you don't want to be with that person anyway.
Yeah, you're
right.
You know,
I think every guy I've been with has loved like my boisterous personality and like my ability to like be really sharp in language, things like that. And like that's who you want to be with.
Right.
If some guys like you should curse less or something, or like you're being loud, and it's like you're just not having a good time, buddy.
My God. I need to tell you this. I dated this super Christian boy.
Woof.
A girl. Well, it was mostly like his parents were super Christian.
Okay.
And he was like super talented guitar player, like great guy. I ended up taking his virginity, whatever. And so his parents were mega Christians, and they tried changing everything about me.
No.
Everything. They would literally, like, the mom literally sat me down and was like telling me that she doesn't even want me wearing tank tops around. She doesn't even.
Were they Mormon?
I don't think so.
I don't know religion well enough to like.
No.
Okay.
But then like she literally like would recite the Bible with me, like thinking I needed to like do these prayers with her.
That's intense.
She hated that I would watch Family Guy while over there, which I fucking love Family Guy. Like she would just like roll her eyes and make these like remarks. But it was even better because it passed on to him. Because like when he was like almost like breaking up with me, he was like, okay, I have stipulations. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, here we go. And he was like, you need to make sure that you wash your sheets every single week. And like, which now I do, but like back then I was like in fucking college. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, you need to do that. You need to make sure that you drive to me too. I don't want to always have to be driving to you. I don't want you ever drinking nearly as much.
Your impression of this man sounds like he's a gay man.
Oh my God, I don't mean to. I mean, who knows who he is now. But yeah, like he laid out all this shit. Like I can't be drinking. I can't like ever smoke weed. Like ever.
So that's interesting. So you didn't like that?
No. And he told me, I like, the way I swear, not okay. Like,
Yeah, so
I
it's
can't be
interesting.
hanging out with a bunch of guys.
It's
Like,
just-
things like that. I'm like, bro, you need to chill the fuck out.
Okay,
Like,
those are terrible like guidelines. Like we have things like you need to be open to communication. Like
Right, right,
those
right.
are our standards. Like
Right.
So that's what I was saying was interesting because it's like when somebody puts those kind of requirements in front of you as an individual explicitly, like verbally, how is that much different from the apps? But the difference is that his are very trivial things, right? These
Right.
requirements are so trivial. Like
right. And like,
And
you don't want me
like-
hanging out with my guy friends? Like, I wish I had the fucking
dude,
text.
kick rocks, bye.
I know. Like, I have the text somewhere, but I wish I brought that up and read
Jokes
it out
on you,
loud.
I only have guy friends.
Right? It's so true. Like, I have barely any fucking girlfriends. So
Right.
suck it. Glad it never worked out.
That's crazy. That's
I
crazy.
know. But it's the mega Christian ones you gotta fucking watch out
You know
for.
what? Those are the ones they really like me. I think it's,
Really?
I think it's because nice. I think
Thanks.
I don't know if they see me as like an enigma.
They're like, I must.
I think
have
I'm like
her."
tantalizing, and they're like, it would be a sin. I'm like, yeah, you're married. You got married when you were 17, so
Oh yeah.
to fantasize about me would be a sin. So
Oh, for sure. Fuck that guy.
no,
Well, yeah. What do you like? You have to have like
oh
good
my
teeth?
gosh. Okay, so there's a small running joke between one of my friends. It's like, you like those engineers, huh? I do.
Yeah,
I'm-
you like smart guys, and there's absolutely nothing wrong. That's the way to do it.
I'm
you want a
huge.
smart guy.
I'm huge on brains. Mostly because they can keep up with me. Like when I talk, and they don't. Like I cannot date a stupid man. Like I cannot.
Yeah.
Because I will like take really complex topics and demand that we both break them down together, and that you elaborate upon your opinion. And some guys, like I've met guys who, when I question them, they don't understand it as like just a logical question. They think that I'm challenging them.
Oh, okay.
And they don't like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, this is not going to work out for us, right? When I'm because they don't expect a woman to challenge them, you
Right.
know?
Oh, for sure.
Or they don't expect her to be so, forward or smart. Gosh, God forbid she's intelligent.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
No, yeah. And so I date a lot of smart men, and I lean toward, especially in Indiana, it's just fucking engineers everywhere. Like
Yeah.
you're going to Purdue, you're a fucking engineer.
Right,
you know?
right.
Or you get a job like at an engineering company in Indiana, And so I leaned towards them a lot because they could fucking keep up. And more often than not, it was engineers who would listen, who could keep up, but were listeners. Like I love a listener.
Okay.
And so, I dated guys who've looked totally different. And I'm definitely a brains person.
Me too.
But I definitely go for the lankier types.
I like the nerds.
Yeah.
Yes.
I dated a guy, so the doctor I dated, or the pre-med student, I guess, or he's in med school now. He was the first guy I dated who was kind of more filled out, like almost looked like football player stature, like, and wow, definitely surprised me. And so now, and he was very smart and kind. I love kind men. Obviously, I feel like should just be an obvious choice, but like
Right.
nurturing men, like because I need a lot of love, I grew up in
Yeah.
a very independent life, and so I need a lot of hugs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
And so I like people who like physicality, right? I've dated guys who look totally different, but I was definitely in high school. I loved the skater boys because they were all like angsty, like broody types,
Yeah.
But they always they were very loyal to their girlfriends.
Nice. Yeah.
So I really like that. I like that loyalty.
Dude. I know. I feel like I go for a lot of
I
different
don't
types
date
of guys.
blondes. I don't date blondes.
Really?
That's one of the shallow choices. I really don't. I dated one blonde, and I was like,
I go for like the slightly ginger,
ooh,
Guys.
hard to find.
like a Prince Harry type. Like
brown hair, but like in the summer,
it's like a
red.
strawberry blonde, but like sexy. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about like
What about,
semi
like-
ginger
What about like body type?
body type. I like a little chunk, not super skinny. Just because it's like when you're
But
cuddling,
nerdy.
it's kind of like
You like the nerds.
I like the nerds, but if they're like a nerd and super skinny, it's like, are you even like fun to cuddle? Like, are you gonna be bony underneath my head? You know what I mean?
Wrapping my arm around a pole.
Right. I don't mind if they're skinnier than me though. Like you can still be skinnier than me, but like not a stick.
Okay, like I don't know, with curves, like come on. I was actually I made a man blush the other day, one of my dates, because I was like, you don't have to deal with tits and an ass. Like, you just don't have those things. So,
right?
I mean, that's like 20 pounds just alone.
Oh, 100. Girl.
Yeah.
Look at these knockers. These are legit like 30 pounds each.
Right.
Like, I can't, but I have no ass. So I even put that in my profile. I literally said, I literally have no ass. So I hope you like tits. And I also wrote, I hope you like Taylor Swift, because I'm always fucking playing her shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like people love that shit. Like I'm as brutally honest as I fucking possibly can.
No, I think that's especially on apps. Like good for you, because you're only gonna get the ones who really give a shit. You know?
Right.
You don't have to go through that shit later. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, there's just such a plethora out here in Los Angeles, but it's also like so daunting.
Well, that's why I don't know. I feel like I don't get too distraught dismissing men, because there's literally so many here.
Dude,
there's so many. It's quite a pond out there.
Right. Oh, you know? Yeah. Which I'm loving it about that, because like back in the Midwest, you're like, wow, there's a dude, and then 5 minutes later, oh, there's another dude like walking by, you know, like you do not have that many choices.
Is it the same dude? He just got a haircut.
Yeah. That's awesome.
No, it is. In the Midwest, I'm like, I'm gonna live alone for the rest of my like you start thinking those thoughts so early. And like here, like I'm in my late 20s, I'm like, I'm here to play the game.
Yes.
Like, you know, but like in a serious way, I'm here to play the game. Like I'm a competitor.
Oh yeah. Like
I'm not playing the game for funsies, like I'm playing the game to win.
But at the same time, if the guy is playing a game and like trying to look at other chicks too while also trying to look at me, like fuck you.
Oh,
you know? Yeah. I don't know. It's like it's a two-way street, but it's also like fuck you.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Like if dating is a game, like I'm playing to win, like to find that person, right?
Yeah.
I'm not playing to play.
Right.
You know, to like
I want to meet that one guy and he's going to be like, "All right, I'm deleting the app right now."
That's so cute. Know? That's the new Facebook status,
right?
Or the Facebook update.
In a relationship,
It's like you don't like nobody. I don't know anybody who does the in a relation. It's cute on Facebook,
I don't
but it's
do
like
that shit
I don't do that.
Yeah.
Well,
it's been a long time.
Most of the men I date are never on Facebook. That's a good sign.
That is great.
If the guy's like never on social media, great sign.
Super good sign. Like back in the old days where social media wasn't a thing, we've just, become so accustomed to that. Like constantly, that's a whole other fucking topic. Just like swiping and
I think my MySpace. MySpace.
Oh my God. Your top 8?
I think my MySpace still says I love my boyfriend. Oh my God. I got my senior pictures with my high school boyfriend.
Oh, that's so embarrassing.
How cute.
That is cute.
That's so cute. I think he just got married.
Oh my God. See, yeah, looking back on like people we went to high school with and shit, it's like you literally have like 5 kids now.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like I have a dog and I can pay my rent and like
in LA, yeah.
I serve tables and like get titties flashed at me by homeless people like nightly. Like like last night.
It's such a different lifestyle.
Super different lifestyle.
Yeah, but it's like
people get it out here. People get it, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I don't regret it. I mean, at all. I think like I'm so grateful that I didn't feel like I needed to be, married with kids by now.
Same.
I got to be so much like I didn't have parental pressure or really outside pressure to do those things.
Same. Neither did I.
That's great. That's great. And so we get to be like, yeah, I don't really want kids until like later in life.
Yeah.
Or I'm not ready to get married to the person I dated in high school. And thank God I did it.
And like, I don't even think my dad wants me to have kids right now. Like, I can't, he never says anything about it. Like, none of my parents have ever been like,
also,
so when are you going to find someone?
Yeah.
Like, it's
also,
never happened.
Kids in this economy?
Bro.
Like, come on.
Like, my mom was like married with 2 kids by 26. And I'm like, I could have never 2 years
This is
ago.
where like dating smart men is really going to work in my favor.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like making bank, like working at Google or like some med school or something. And I'm going to be like, all right, jokes.
Right? No, it's like a totally different ball game with our generation, I feel like. But
yeah,
I'm okay with it.
And in different regions too, right? Different areas of the U.S. Like it's not like people out in LA, it's not common for them to get married in their early 20s. It's just not.
No. I mean, you can maybe split rent and like save money that way. And then that's like the ultimate move-in step. You know?
People are in relationships for a long time here. Long time before they get married. People back home are in relationships for like maybe 4 years. I married 2 of my best friends. That sounds weird.
Yeah, it does. Totally.
No, I officiated my best friend's wedding.
That is so cool.
And yeah, you can call me Reverend Rebecca.
Ooh, yes, bitch.
And they dated for like 6 or 7 years before they finally got hitched. But it wasn't even a matter of them like not wanting to be married. They were just like, when can we afford a wedding?
Right.
You know, so.
At least now they're doing Zoom weddings. That's cheap as fuck, right?
God, I don't know if I could do that.
Can you do a Zoom wedding? Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I actually introduced my best friend and another guy in high school, and they ended up getting married, and they have 2 kids.
Do you know anybody who got married from the apps?
No. Personally, no.
Really?
I mean, if I do, I didn't know that they met on an app. Yeah. Not that I know of. You do, right?
I think I know two or 3 couples. Yeah.
Wow.
Or at least those couples are on their way to get married. You know.
That's what's up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's our future. That is our future. Yeah. Okay. That was a little
trying.
pitiful. You are trying.
I'm like trying to be quote unquote unwomanly. I'll just
love it.
You guys can't see it, but my legs are spread.
Yes, bitch. Perfect logo. Well, I mean, we literally could talk about this forever, but
eternity.
Literally for fucking ever. But I think we've covered quite a bit of fucking dating in LA.
Yeah,
or dating in general.
In general, yeah, I think like ultimately, right? Like I said before, we have to accept apps as like the norm for dating. We have to learn to get accustomed of those emotions we feel when we, you know, have a date that's lackluster or we have a match that's lackluster. Like, you're gonna have so many highs and lows. You got to be able to just step away from it. Like, people get so distraught from it, and you end up if you're not careful, you'll end up using other people.
Yeah.
Right? You'll end up using people, right? And like I've been the woman so many times that has made men decide that they weren't ready for dating or they got out of a relationship. Like, you don't know how many guys have replied to me and have been like, listen, I just got out of a huge relationship and I thought I was ready and I'm not. And I was the girl that helped them decide. And like, that doesn't make me feel good, right?
Right. You're like, oh, shit.
As much as I understand it, like, and I'm not going to fault this person for it, like, I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to be that person to you that made you come to that realization.
Right.
You know? And I've had friends who like have gone on dates with other people. They've gotten out of a relationship and they're just like, I'm going to see what it's like, you know? And it's like,
yeah. And you're like, oh, damn it, I skewed them.
Well, you're doing that to somebody else. And so I think we have to be considerate in a sense. Like, you really do have to be ready to be in that environment.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, be ready to date, to be on the apps. Like, that's the biggest advice I can give is, like, are you ready to date?
Right.
Or are you just in the apps because you're, like, looking for your market? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, honing in on your market, seeing what you can get.
Be ready. Wear condoms. And vote for Joe Biden.
Yes, you're right. Joe and Kamala 2020.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Becca, for being on the podcast. Make sure to go follow my girl, Becca Wolfley, on Instagram and Twitter at Becca Wolfley. I'll see you next time here on Unwomanly.